Hello, my name is Benjamin Talby, and tonight I'm going to define for you what leadership is, and to help solidify this understanding, I'm going to use three images right here of a battery, a field goal, and a cross. Now, to define leadership, I would say it is when someone invests in others in order to empower them and motivate them to accomplish a common goal, and that all this leadership should be done with a Christ-like and humble attitude. This definition of leadership has a biblical foundation, can be seen and backed up through contemporary leadership approaches, and can be seen in current churches and how churches go and train up new leaders. From a biblical approach, it's first of all important to go and empower others. Jesus told his followers in Matthew 28:19 to go and make disciples of all nations. To make a disciple is more than to go and create a convert. It's more than to have an employee, but to disciple someone means to train them up. And this training, it's in order to go and accomplish a common goal. Now, it's important to have a common goal in any organization or any church. Unity, it's an important concept throughout the Bible. In Psalm 133:11, it speaks of how it's good for brothers to walk together in unity. In Mark 3:25, it speaks of how a house divided against itself cannot stand. So a common goal and unity is important. And finally, it's important for leaders and all Christians to have a humble and Christ-like attitude. This idea is exemplified in Philippians 2:5-11, where it speaks of Jesus, how although he existed in the form of God, did not see equality with God as something to be grasped, but he humbled himself. He took on the form of a servant. He came to earth, died for the sins of humanity, and rose up from the dead. Christ showed humility. Even though he had unlimited power, he humbled himself to the point of death. This type of humility should be emulated by leaders in the church even today. Now, this definition of leadership, it can be backed up with various leadership approaches. From a behavioral approach, it's important to have good task and relationship orientations. This is required for this definition of leadership. It also can be backed up from a situational approach. When going and developing leaders and going and empowering them and giving them a common goal, it's important to make sure that you take a different approach in training each person depending on the skills that they already have. And finally, for a skill and a path to goal approach, it at times can take a lot of work and care from a leader in order to clear obstacles. It takes time, and it takes having an attitude of willingness, like how Christ did for us. And I've seen how this definition is important for the contemporary church, especially with my role as a children's pastor. I've seen that it's important to go and empower leaders within the church. You train them up, give them opportunities, let them try, fail, learn from those mistakes, and try again. It's important in a church to have a common goal, because if there's not a common goal, then those who are trained up or others in the congregation can end up splitting the church. And finally, it's important for all in the church, especially the leaders, to have humility like Christ, because a prideful leader is apt to fall, whether that's in sin or failing in their relationships with others. In a future video, I'm going to go and discuss each of these elements more and go over this definition even further. Hope you have a good day.